have said this many times, that Damagum and Samuel Anyanwu are agents fully oiled for the purpose of ensuring that PDP is served the fate of AMPP and AD. And as her daughter and fathers, they willingly accepted these saboteur attacks and carrying it out with no shame. No shame, that's no shame, proudly. And I said this, 2 years ago. I have been on this agitation that we need to shut these political desperados down before they destroy what our founding fathers gave to us. They said it wasn't about rivers. In rivers, they went to carry structures without Congress to go and give to APC members. In Imo dissenting, they carried a member of Labour Party, one Austin or something, and made him chairman. So you can see that they are planting non-members of PDP for the inevitable agenda which they have to work for the opposition. And because they are political cowards who cannot boldly go to another political party and build structure, they need to, like parasites, leech on what our founding fathers has built to achieve their agenda for their paymasters. So I say that we ought to have had this NEC meeting a long time. But I'm alerting everybody again that there is plan again to abort this last effort being put in by governors and BOT to have the NEC meeting on March 13 or thereabouts. I have heard they run around the city again with the APC lawyers, looking for court to grant them injunction against the NEC meeting, against the removal of the secretary who has already been removed. There's a plot to abort the NEC meeting. I'm saying it boldly. By this time, Anyanwu and Damagum, and get an injunction again so that they can stay in office till December, when they will now do the political, nuclear bomb throwing of ensuring that they now hand over the party officially to full APC officers. So I want to salute the governors, yes, late but not, bad, for coming boldly, despite, the complex nature of that decision, boldly, standing for history to record them, that Ugochinyere is the national secretary of our party, and the NEC meeting must hold in March. I want to appreciate them. Some of them I have castigated them in the past, but if that's why they are bold enough to do the right thing, sorry for castigating you, we must do the right thing. And I want to also thank the Board of Trustees. Recently, they have been attacking Adolphus Wabara. They used to be the ones that used to receive Adolphus Wabara with red carpets. Because Adolphus Wabara has refused to do the yeoman's dirty job, they are now saying that if Adolphus is their father, that they will disown Adolphus. You see the kind of thing that comes out from their mouth. When you don't dance to their tune, you become an idiot that will be attacked. But I want to appreciate Wabara for, despite that attack, with his leaders, both Turaki, both Nwodo, both McAfee, and so on and so forth, they still stood firm and said, Anyanwu has no business with this party. It is Right Honorable Ugochinyere that is the national secretary of our party. So I want to alert them that it is not yet over. There is grand design, as I'm speaking to you now, their lawyers are drafting it, to obtain another injunction, to stop the NEC meeting from holding, and also to continue to retain them in office so that they can complete the national assignment of either re-electing themselves or appointing full stooge of the APC as our national officers. So no matter what, current conscience, the NEC meeting must hold in March, as already scheduled by our governors. No governor should chicken out, no BOT member should chicken out, nobody in NWC should chicken out. And now that we are before the Supreme Court, it's very clear what is the matter. It's a very simple matter. You ran for national secretary of the national governorship election, and you became the candidate of the party. Even though party members, we didn't know that we are not serious, you are working for APC. But the constitution is very clear. You left the very moment you become a governorship candidate. One of those criteria is that you will resign. So as long as resignation is written in the constitution, you are deemed to have resigned the very moment you became the governorship candidate. You don't even need to send in a letter. That's your business. It's like somebody whose tenure of office expires, who's supposed to send in a letter of leave or something. So does it mean that if you don't send the letter of notice of leave or resignation, that the seat will continue to be enjoyed by you? You are deemed diseased. You automatically left the very moment you became a governorship candidate, because it is in the constitution that you must resign. Whether it's 30 days, whether it will come by the guideline or whatever, the point that once you contest election, you cannot be holding any executive position in the party. So it's very simple. Anyanwu is no longer secretary of the party. The very moment he ran for the governorship election, which was an entirely joke that he dragged some of us into without knowing. So now you came back after you lost. And then because you go to Port Harcourt carrying the FCT minister's handbag, you now come back, you now say, they told you to go and be our national secretary. You now come back to Watata and say you are national secretary. What kind of nonsense is that? Yes, it took our leaders so long to be bold to state facts on this thing, but it's not yet late. So I want to appreciate also the members of the National Working Committee. Today, majority of the NWC members are standing with Ugochinyere as the national secretary of the party and our governors. You have an NWC that over 12 NWC members are standing with us and those who believe that the right thing should be done. They don't even have a quorum to call NWC meeting. No NWC meeting can be called by them because they don't even have quorum. The National Legal Advisor, the National Public Secretary, the National Treasurer, the National Financial Secretary, all of them are standing at the right thing should be done. But only Anyanwu and Damagum are the one who thinks different. It will get to a point that two of them will be writing petitions against our governors and our BOT members to DSS and police. You want to be national. You can see, when you see a political threat, you know. You are a national secretary. And then you look at the governors who are the ones still holding the life wire of your party. And then you drag them to DSS and police to arrest them and put them in prison. Is that not clear to you that these people are working to ensure that the party is destroyed? And what are you fighting for? Something that you have lost. You have lost at the High Court. You have lost at the Appeal Court. Your stay of objection was rejected. But because you are carrying handbag to Port Harcourt, so therefore they tell you to remain, you must remain. You must remain. This is not a land transaction. People must have honor. People must have honor. So that kind of things I hear. So instead of issues of, look at the kind of killings all over Nigeria. Where is the place of the opposition? The people are murdering people left, right, center in Nigeria. Like, you know, when you open your newspaper or your TV, killing is like it becoming part of our national life. Is that this opposition and ruling government should be discussing? But people are just, you know, doing things that are so embarrassing because they want to hold the party in trust for those who are cowards, who cannot be man enough to go to another party and follow those that they say they love. Now, we're not discussing about the poverty level in the country. We're not discussing about the killings. We're not discussing about, you know, life is becoming horrible. But what we're discussing is whether an imposter like Damagum and Anyanwu should continue to run around from weekend in PDP. Is that what we should be discussing as opposition? So that's why I salute the boldness of the PDP Governors Forum, led by Bala Mohammed and his vice, Governor Fubara, and the NWC, led by Ugochinyere, our National Public Secretary, our National Legal Advisor, our National Financial Secretary, our National Treasurers, and other supporters in NWC, and our BOT, led by Nwabara, for being bold to come out at this moment to say enough of this naked dance of shame. The right thing must be done in PDP. You have our support. Some of us here as federal lawmakers, as state lawmakers, majority of us believe that the right thing should be done at all times, because the opposition time has come for us to shift attention from irrelevant things of this nature. Discussing about a man, a full-blown man that have children and grandchildren, deciding to do, you know, a dirty political job against his own political party. That we should go beyond this, throw them in the political dustbin where they belong to, and move forward to do the right thing, so that we can discuss issues of governance, issues of development, and not issues. By now, we should be having a memorandum as opposition on our views on constitutional amendment and so on and so forth. We'll be having templates on how security challenges can be resolved and how economic challenges can be resolved, and holding government accountable in a very responsible way. But here we're discussing about those who carry handbag to Port Harcourt and the decision to, when they are no longer party officers, to hold on to offices. An office that belongs to North Central, that our constitution is very clear that whenever a vacancy exists, the party shall, from the same zone with the former occupant, is supposed to have appointed a North Central person, and then you are sitting on their seat since 2 years, and we're doing back and forth, and obtaining injunctions for you from APC, left, right, and center. These are things that are so annoying. And then the other one, you lost. You went to run a governorship election, you lost your seat, you failed, then they told you in one of the days you carry the handbag and say, go back to Abuja. Tell them you are still their national secretary. And before you know it, injunctions start flying left, right, and center. He has about 15 injunctions now or more. If you'll be surprised that tomorrow he'll bring another one out. And none of these matters goes beyond the injunctions. All of them, we are compiling, they will show it to Nigerians. They obtain it, they keep. So in coming to conclusion, because I didn't want to waste much of your time, first thing is that there was no judgment today from the Supreme Court that affected the status of oko-jumbo, who is the rightful Speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly, and there's also no judgment that was lost by Fubara what happened today is that the appeal that was filed by Governor Fubara over the issue of where the budget of 2024 should be presented, that the governor, knowing that it is now a mere academic exercise because we're in 2025, taxes have been collected, revenues have been collected, and budgets have been executed, money have been spent. So why are you now in Supreme Court waiting for an appeal on whether you should represent before the sack lawmakers led by Anyanwu or whatever they call him, or whether it should be oko-jumbo? So the right thing is to withdraw it because it has been overtaken by events. 2024 have expired. 2025 is what is being implemented now. So such a case is like arguing over Shehu Shagari's budget of 1983 or 82. So when you win it, are you going to recollect revenue in pounds and shillings of those years and pence? So it's something that is dead, and that's why the governor withdrew it. But so unfortunate, in their usual propaganda, they tell people, oh, no case has been lost. No case has been lost. Everything is still intact. The House of Assembly is still intact and is backed by instrument of law, and they have passed 2025 budget and they are executing it. And we're also hopeful that the court will do the right thing on the status of these sack lawmakers to reaffirm it. Because even the court, so every judge in Supreme Court and Appeal Court must have watched that video, must have seen it on their TV. So when you go now and say black is white, you end up damaging the institution because nobody will believe, because everybody saw it. There are some things that are, like I said before, is so visible to the blind, and is so loud to the deaf or dumb, or whatever it is. So it's very clear. You don't need scientific proof on it. There are facts that are, that speaks for itself. And this action is one of those facts that speaks for itself. That they left at a time there was no division, and their seat became vacant automatically. And what they are supposed to have gone through is by election. So the court, everybody is hoping that this issue should be resolved in the interest of our democracy. And secondly, is to alert our party members that these agents, these people who are in PDP but they are members of APC, are now on an autopilot level now to obstruct the scheduled March NEC meeting. When you finish meeting with them, or when they finish meeting with governors, and they finish with BOT, they run immediately in the night to FCT, where they will review whatever and they tell them, don't agree. And that is the one they listen to. They don't listen to the popular views of party members. They don't listen to popular views of governors. They don't listen to popular views of NWC. They have to go back where they carry handbag and they'll tell them, oh, don't object. We'll get an injunction for you. You see, so that is why I said every party member needs to know that Anyanwu is doing everything possible to ensure that he comes through the back door for a position he has lost. Same thing with Damagum, who does not want the NEC meeting to hold. They have fresh plot again to sabotage it from holding by bringing another injunction. So everybody has to be vigilant. The BOT has to be vigilant. The Governors Forum has to be vigilant. The NWC has to be vigilant. Notice should be issued by Ugochinyere and other members of the NWC, and NEC meeting must hold. One word, the NEC meeting must hold so that we can resolve these issues, so the Nigerians can take the PDP serious, or start taking them serious for once. As it stands today, no Nigerian can take it serious, because they will say, if people who are carrying handbag going to Port Harcourt and FCT are holding you to ransom, why should we Nigerians trust you? You need to crush those political disturbances in your house and get them cleared off. If you can clear them off within a reasonable time, nobody will remain with you. And that is why it is something that is the first conversation, to clean the house of this political, those sellers who does not want their party to. Imagine somebody who wants to be national secretary and national chairman writing a letter to courts, to Supreme Court, to Appeal Court, to Federal High Court, that they want cases in court that will help their party to retain control in some states, that they want the cases discontinued so that APC members can win them. They go to Rivers, they go to Appeal Court, they said they are changing lawyers, and they put an APC lawyer to represent a PDP interest. And then they withdraw appeal so that those lawmakers who have lost their seats, they can regain the seat illegally and make attempt to impeach their own governor. So you can see how people have elevated political bad carrying against institutional interests of a political party, because they have no shame. This is who they are. They don't see, the people are so disgusted about them. Party members are so bitter with them. Nigerians see them as death. Never in history, even from the time of Shehu Shagari, from those olden days of politics, MPN, MPP, even to SDP, NRC days, and to the time of the UNCP, no politician, no party chairman anywhere in Nigeria has done the kind of political sabotage, or carried out the kind of political sabotage Anyanwu and Damagum has carried against PDP. Nobody in Nigeria history. Nobody from the time of Azikiwe them to the time of Shehu Shagari them, MP and MPP, to the time of SDP, NRC, Babangida, to the time of Abacha days, even UNCP and so on and so forth, and to the time of Obasanjo them, AD, nobody has openly, when you finish, you go somewhere and they tell him instruction and say, don't agree, I'll give you an injunction. So you won't agree. So 2 years, something that is written clearly in our constitution could not be enforced. North Central could not produce a replacement acting chairman. Injunction flying left, right, and center. And then a national secretary will leave his position, run for governor, go there and disgrace himself because he was never serious from day one. Then come back. And then they tell him, continue calling yourself national secretary. And we are disturbing the court, going from high court to Enugu to appeal court to Supreme Court. Over what nonsense? A very simple tax that shows you the kind of honor and how dishonorable these people are. That's why I say I'm tired of talking about this whole thing. To enforce something that is very simple.